Hello, welcome to my channel. So before we get started, I am gonna do the balloon popping. So I've warned everyone in the house that I'm doing this, so hopefully no one comes barging in and yelling since we are live. If it does happen, it happens. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whoa. Whew. Not as bad. Not as bad as it was last time. Okay. Cool. All right. So I have another horror story for you guys. I always have to fix my eyelashes. Hopefully that's not awkward or weird for any of you. But today for breakfast, it is early. I have some dinosaur chicken nuggets. Again, not your traditional breakfast, but here you go. And I have some Thousand Island dressing. And of course, coffee. Okay guys, so let's get right into the story. I don't know how long it's gonna take. So for today's horror story, again, I'm gonna rename the characters and the location and everything. Let's say the character's name is Sammy and it's located in, let's see, I don't know, Kentucky. Okay? All right. So basically, Sammy, as a little kid, she lived with her mom in this neighborhood, in this house. She was new to the area. She was a little girl, maybe 4, 5 years old. And she had her own room. There was a bathroom next to her room. And then her mom was across the hallway in the house. So every night when she was a little girl, Sammy had nightmares, like every single night. She would think about, in her dreams, about a basement. It wasn't a scary scene or a scary thought or anything like that. It was just her being locked in this position in the basement, not being able to move, and seeing this really bright red light in the basement. It was all lit up. She was not able to move or, you know, escape that environment. She was just stuck there for a long time. And she didn't know why she was having these dreams, or if it was even like supposed to be horror stories, but like, or horror dreams. And so the mom also every night, like at midnight, would hear the toilet flushing at midnight. And she would, a couple of times she checked on Sammy to see if it's her going to the restroom, but it wasn't her. And she would leave. She would, you know, go back to bed. And it happened almost nightly. So the family wasn't sure what was going on. So after maybe 2, 3 years of living in this house, they decided to move out. They left. And one of the neighbors, they had invited him over, and just as like a, you know, kind of a friendly invitation, they had lunch and everything, and they did bring up the nightmares that her daughter was having at night. The nightmares were brought up, the toilet being flushed was brought up, and so the neighbor stated that the reason she may be having those nightmares was because there was an incident that took place at the house, which involved the father doing some inappropriate things with his daughter, young daughter. I'm not going to go into detail with that because let's keep it kid friendly. So, yeah, and also before I go into this any further, please make sure you're allowed to watch this, ask for permission, ask your family, mom, dad, whoever. Okay, I should have mentioned that in the beginning. So basically he had done that, whatever, and so he hung himself in the basement, and he killed himself there. So the fact that she was thinking about the basement when she slept is kind of correlates directly with him being there and hanging himself there, and she herself being a little girl, right? So they moved out of the house, they left, and after many, many years, she got older. You know, she was a young woman, and she got married, had a son of her own, and she, you know, and everything was great. You know, she had a great family. Her nightmares started to go away. She would still have them, like once a month, but it wasn't as frequently, like it wasn't daily. And one day her son was playing in, like, they had a playroom in their new home, and in the playroom her son started noticing like really strange things, like the toys would turn on and off on their own. At first they didn't take it very seriously, just because, you know, it could be like just an issue, like a battery must be dying, or, you know, just some error with the toy, and toys do that, you know, sometimes they turn on. But it really caught the mom's attention when she noticed that one day her son screamed when he saw the chair in the toy room was rocking back and forth. And the mom rushed into the room, and she said, "What happened?" And he ran to her, and he said, "That who's that man?" And she was like, "What man?" And he was like, "That man in that chair that's rocking." The mom obviously didn't see anything, but the kid mentioned it over and over again. And that kind of freaked her out. She, you know, she thought possibly, you know, the first thing that would go into any person's mind, and was that guy, you know, of that previous house had followed her. That spirit had followed her to this family, and she even made her think that maybe that spirit was with her that entire time, her whole life. And that's why she was still having these dreams. So, after that, I mean, I'm assuming with someone that encounters things like that, they just kind of get used to it, and they accept it, because she was having, you know, not regular, but she still was having the nightmares. And she did state that toys would go off and on over and over again. They had a book in the playroom where you could record your voice into the book while you're reading it. And I know I've seen those, but you'd have to open the book and then record your voice. And she had it put away with the rest of the books. That had been pulled out, and there was like strange voices on that as well. So it never went away. She was really used to it. Like when she was downstairs, the family never went back into that room. Like she would stay, like the son would not go and sleep in his room. He would sleep with the family. He never went into the playroom. When he got older, the mom said that he was not, like, he did not want to go in there, but they didn't force him. When he did play with the other toys, they didn't make it a requirement where like he had to be in there. But I think over time he lost that memory of that incident, and mom never brought it up to him ever again. So it stuck with her whole life, but she didn't want it to affect the son. But it's kind of interesting to see that, like, in this whole situation, the mom, it's almost like she kind of accepted the fact that this was happening to her, and it was like no big deal, because starting from, like, you know, dreams, and then later it becoming this whole issue, she wasn't bothered by it. Like, it was almost like a casual thing that was happening on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, isn't that like terrifying? Like, can you imagine living in a house and having this ghost essentially follow you your whole life, and to the point where you're married and you have a kid of your own, and then doing the same thing to them? It makes me wonder, like, at this point, if I was to ever meet Sammy, like, I would want to ask her, like, did you ever, like, if she ever followed up with her son to ask him, like, if he was doing okay, if he's having any type of dreams, abnormal dreams. So that's something I would want to ask him, because if it's happening, then I would be worried. All right, guys. That's all I have for you. I hope you guys enjoyed my horror story for today. Next time I'll come up with another one if I can find something, because I'm kind of running out of ideas, but we'll see. All right. Have a wonderful day.